let's talk about Pinterest. Pinterest is my happy place. Let's just be real. I love scrolling through it, roaming through it, finding recipes, finding outfits, doing the things that you'd expect to be done on Pinterest. But did you know that Pinterest can also help with your business? So, while yes, I do love to find a great recipe for dinner this week or to figure out what I'm wearing to a wedding in a couple weeks, Pinterest is also a great place to start discovering ways to enhance your business. It's a great way to find new brands or new products or how to make things, do-it-yourself stuff. The list goes on and on and on. So Pinterest, like Google, is a search engine. It's not actually social media. Pinterest is a search engine. It's a visual search engine, to be exact. So, should you use Pinterest with your business? The answer is maybe. And let's get clear why. Because as I say with everything else, it all comes down to your audience. It doesn't matter if Pinterest is working amazing for one brand if the demographic of your ideal customer isn't on Pinterest. So, who's on Pinterest? Well, as you would guess, Pinterest is predominantly women. Men do show up there, but it really ranges more towards the female side because that's kind of what it was built off of this fashion and recipe place, and it's grown to a lot more places. I know a lot of people who will use Pinterest as a way to get inspiration for creative projects, in which case those people are not necessarily all women. Actually, the ones that I know are probably more men who are using it for creative ideas for their artwork. However, when it comes to your business, when it comes to the overall look of Pinterest, it's predominantly women. And they come in two kind of interesting age ranges. The first age range is 18 to 24 years old. You've got your high school graduates and women in college. These are people who are looking at fashion boards. They're wanting the latest trends. They're wanting inspiration for their dorms or their first house. They want to know what to wear to the party or graduation. It's going to be that demographic. The second age range, which I think is interesting, jumps to 29 to 34-year-olds. So now you have women who have kind of gotten through the first phase of life. They're comfortable, they've figured out their career, and now they're ready to go to the next level. These are women who are getting married, having babies, starting their own businesses. Those are the two main age ranges. Now, of course, the ages in the middle and some of the ages after 34 do get some popularity on Pinterest, but they're not the most predominant age range on Pinterest. The next thing you should know about the demographics of Pinterest is that it's for a higher income and a more educated audience. The majority of Pinterest users have at least a 4-year college degree, if not more. And 41% of them make over $75,000 a year. Those are some big stats, especially if you're trying to produce a luxury brand. Then Pinterest might be the perfect place for you to start growing your brand and reaching your audience. Okay, so we get it. Pinterest, it's for women ages 18 to 24 or 29 to 34. They need to be college educated, they make more money, and it's not a social media platform. It's a search engine. So how do you use it for your business? Well, I like to start with having my clients build out some boards. Now, you want to have enough boards that when somebody comes to your profile, they have plenty to look at. They can roam around, stay a while, pull up a chair, have a cup of tea. So I say start with at least 12 boards, and then I wouldn't get over like 25 boards. Then it becomes too much to engage with and overwhelming. So your sweet spot is between 12 and 25 boards. Now these boards aren't just going to be about anything. They need to apply to your brand. They need to be answering questions, pain points, concerns of your ideal customer. It always comes back to that ideal customer. So what are the main questions that your customer's asking? What are the things that they care about? Now, it doesn't have to be 100% related to your brand. For example, I am a brand strategist, and I still have a board on there about clothes. But I usually post clothes that have to do with your work life. What are you going to wear to an interview? What are you going to wear to a speaking event? Things like that. I also have some stuff about home, but it's also about my brand is living intentionally in life and in business, because they're not two separate things. There is no work-life balance. It's all one thing. So that makes sense for my brand to represent all of the things on Pinterest. But of course, I'm always thinking about my ideal client. So my ideal client might be a woman who loves to take baths and loves tea and is starting her own yoga business. So I would then have boards about baths, about teas, and of course I would have multiple boards around subjects of running and starting your own business, which I do. So think it over, come up with a list, maybe write down a list of 30 ideas for boards. See if there's some that you can mesh together, and really come up with a strong set of 12 boards that represent your ideal customer and your brand. Once you have these 12 boards outlined, now it's time to get to the nitty-gritty fun stuff. We're going to build out your Pinterest. Here's the thing you need to think about in everything you build for Pinterest. It's a search engine. What are people typing into the search bar? That's it. That's the main thing you need to remember. When you are writing out your board name, think of what you would type into the search bar to discover that board. For example, if I was creating a board about teas, I might make my tea morning teas to wake you up. I might have another board that's evening teas to wind down. Because that's what my customer would type in the search engine. They want to know what tea is going to give them the energy they need to go build a business. And they need to know what teas are they going to use to wind down at the end of the night, calm down, and fall asleep easy. It's that simple. Here's another example. For a marketing board, I might want to do a board specifically on websites. So I'm thinking about, what do people really need to know about their website? And it comes down to landing pages, SEO, website design. So I might create a board if I know that my ideal customer is a yoga studio owner. I might build a board that says website design for yoga studios. Or if I just know that my ideal customer is female, but she has plenty of options of what business she would be building, I could say website design for female business owners. Those are the things that people are going to search for, and I want my boards and my pins to show up for their searches. So just like you're creating SEO, search engine optimization keywords in your board names, you want to be doing the same in the board descriptions. So when you build a board, it gives you the option to say, what is this board about? Don't skip this step. It's so easy to graze over, but you want a thick paragraph right there that talks about what this board is about. The truth of the matter is, no one will ever read that paragraph. Nobody. But the Pinterest algorithm will, and that's what we care about. So by putting in your keywords of website design for female business owners or morning teas in the copy that you use on the description, you are more likely to show up in search results because you are saying again and again and again what this board is about. But then we take it one more step further, and you're going to use those same keywords in the copy of your pins. Now, it doesn't have to be the same keywords that your board title or board descriptions are, but the keywords you want your pin to show up for, that's what's going to go in the copy of your pin. So if I'm creating a pin based off of a blog post I wrote on best website templates, I want to make sure that I use best website templates in the name of the pin and the caption of the pin. You see how this is working? You need to be thinking strategically about how are people going to discover you on Pinterest? How will they discover your board? How will they discover your pins? Even in your profile, in your description, you should be using keywords that people might be searching for so they can discover your profile. All of it comes back to that search engine optimization, because Pinterest, like I said before, is a search engine, not social media. So here's the big difference that comes with Pinterest versus any of your other social media platforms, is engagement looks different. You're not actually going to be writing on pins, leaving comments, or necessarily even liking them. Pinning them to your own board, yes, that counts as engagement. But the real engagement comes into creating content and posting it to Pinterest. So you kind of have this balance of repinning other people's pins and creating your own pins and publishing those. And you want it to be an equal balance. You do not want your Pinterest to be 100% your pins, and you do not want your Pinterest to be 100% other people's pins. You want that sweet balance of a little bit of both. What I like to do is at the end of the week, after all my content has published for that week, I take an hour or so to create pins for all my blog posts that launched. I then schedule them for over the course of the next week. So I know that I'll have at least 10 pins publishing over the course of the next week. If you can do more, by all means do more. You want as many pins going into Pinterest as you can possibly get. At the same time, during some downtime when you're waiting in line at the grocery store or you're sitting and chilling watching Netflix, you can go onto Pinterest and scroll through and find pins that work with the boards you've created and add those to your boards. This is how you create the balance of your own content as well as repinning other people's content. All right, let's do a quick review. Pinterest, it is a search engine, not social media. It is for women between the ages of 19 and 24 and 29 and 34. Although there's still a little wiggle room on the edges of those, but those are the predominant ages. It is college educated and higher income women. You want to build 12 boards to begin with and not exceed 25 boards. Within your board name, description, and copy, you want to make sure you're using words that people are searching for in the search bar so that you get discovered. You need to not only be making content, but also repinning other people's content, which is how you engage on this platform. That right there is the best way to get you on Pinterest and to start connecting with your audience.